very good morning to our beloved and celebrated principal, Mr. James Dean, Senior Administrative Assistant, Madam Susie Gilman, Senior Assistant of Student Affairs, Mr. Awang Abdullah, Senior Assistant of Curriculum, Mr. Keenan Raj, teachers, prefects, and fellow students. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ezlynn Lee, or most of you may know me as our school's head prefect, and I am going to be your MC for this special day. I want to take this opportunity to thank the school administrators for giving me the honor. We are all gathered here today to celebrate our beloved principal, Mr. James Dean's retirement day, and mark the end of his journey in the teaching career. We are very honored to have him as our principal, our leader, and our father for the past 19 years. A farewell is not something to be sad about, as there's a quote that goes, "Saying goodbye doesn't mean anything. It's the time that we spend together that matters, not how we left it," by Trey Parker. It is never about the goodbyes and farewells. It is about how much memories we have made together. Before I go any further, I would like to start by introducing our principal deeply to all of us here. Mr. James Dean, or should I say Mr. J, as how he prefers to be called, was born on the 31st of October in 1960 in the rural area of Bau. He then received his early education in SK St. Joseph from 1967 until 1972 and went to St. Joseph High School from 1973 until 1977. After finishing high school, Mr. J worked as temporary teacher at his former high school, St. Joseph High School, as a physical education teacher. Did I mention that Mr. J was the school's top athlete? And that is why the school administrations decided to put him as a PE teacher. With excellent performance as a temporary teacher for 3 years, he was then hired to be a permanent teacher and was offered a post as a PE teacher in SMK Batu Lintang. Time passed by. He spent 20 years of his life there from 1981 until 2001. After spending quite some time in the city, Mr. J then decided to go back to where he belongs, here in Bau. This was when his journey as Lake High School's principal started. With a big heart to come back to his hometown, Mr. J applied to be a principal here in Lake High School, Bau. He then becomes our principal for 19 years now, from 2001 until 2020. How amazing it is for a person to be here, since the school was just established until it is quite well known. We should all thank Mr. J for raising our school so well, like his own child. Without him leading, our school would be nothing. The name James Dean will always be in our heart. On this day, Mr. J is not leaving us, but just passing the legacy to someone new, his legacy. Enough about his personal life, now I am going to share a little bit about his life here in Lake High School. Since the first day as the principal, Mr. J has contributed a lot to this school, especially the infrastructures and well-being. The first year was never easy. Our school was almost closed and there was no fund for the school. Most of the funds went to a more well-known high school. Mr. J knows he had to do something as he doesn't want to be the reason the school failed. Mr. J worked 2 part-time jobs to fund the school himself. He even built and repaired the school's building with his own energy and natural resources to reduce the cost. In fact, until this day, we can still see the library that was built by Mr. J himself. Today, it's not that we can't afford to build a new modern library, but we appreciate the sentimental value of it. The appearance may not be 10 out of 10 anymore, but we should be proud of it as it was built with a one person's blood, sweat and tears, and that is Mr. James Dean's. Let us all thank Mr. James Dean for his hard work, contributions, and endless love towards the school, towards us. It is impossible to build and lead the school alone. Still, Mr. J has proved that it is not impossible with hard work, dedication, determination, and most importantly, sincerity, as everything good comes from the heart. Once again, thank you, Mr. James Dean. Your name will never be forgotten here in Lake High School. Enough talk from me. Now let's hear from Mr. James Dean himself. Let's welcome him with a round of applause.